Welcome back, everybody. Thanks so much for being here and watching my video. My little leprechaun friend says thank you as well. Hey, so this is going to be my wrap up or my final thoughts to the 2022 Notre Dame Fantasy Football Camp. And I'll just start out by saying that, I originally said that I was coming to camp to honor my parents, my grandparents, and my niece Christy. They were all big Notre Dame fans. And matter of fact, Christy and I would text back and forth throughout the Notre Dame games, which was so cool. And then my mission, or that was my mission, my goal was to make my family proud. I had my wife Patty, my son Chad, my daughter Lindsay, and my sister Judy. They were all there supporting me, and they all were there. And I didn't want them to regret being there. So my goal there was just to make them proud. And I like to think that I did. So let me start out by saying this. There was a camper that basically said during camp that he was glad that the 2020 camp was canceled. And he was glad that the 2021 camp was canceled. And I'm looking at him going like, what the hell are you talking about? Why would I was mad. And if you watch my prior videos, I was really upset because I'd worked so hard to get there. And I wasn't sure how motivated I could be because of all the work that I did. And we're going on 3 years now waiting to get into this camp or to actually go to it and make it become reality. Well, the more I thought about what he said, I have to agree. I personally am extremely glad that COVID came around and canceled 2020. I'm extremely glad that it came by and canceled 2021. Why? Because for all of us freshmen that participated in camp in the 2022 camp, we're at the beginning of a new era. We are here because Coach Freeman is at the beginning of his new era. We're in the Freeman era. So when he starts having his success and when things start happening, we can say that we were there at the very, very beginning. We were there at the very beginning of the onset of the Freeman era. So I think that is so, so cool. So let's recap a little bit. I remember showing up at the hotel June 6th, nervous, not knowing a soul. Wasn't sure how camp was going to go, being that I didn't know anybody at all when it seemed like most of these guys knew everybody. I thought the majority of them were just a bunch of alums that were going to camp and so forth. But I remember that when they said load up, the nervousness, the butterflies, the goosebumps. Patty was taking pictures of me. And people were commenting that I didn't look happy, that I just, why wasn't I smiling? And it's all I could do not to cry. And I hope not to cry during this video, but I can't guarantee that. But yeah, it was just, everything was becoming reality. So we get on the bus, and this is so cool. So think about this. I get on the bus, and I sit next to this guy. His name's Sal Perito, and can you believe the first guy that I basically meet, he grew up in Fallsby, West Virginia, right down from Wheeling, West Virginia, so he was a homeboy. And because of that, we just shared a lot of information. Things just clicked for us right then and there. So I thought that was so cool, and the fact that he grew up in Lou Holtz's hometown, because I'm a huge, huge Lou Holtz fan. So we get to the stadium, we go through the lounge, we go into the locker room, we're fitted for our helmets, our shoulder pads, we find our locker, and oh my God, you got your name on the locker, you got your gear hanging. It's like this truly is a dream. There's just no way this is happening. The guy that's next to my locker, John Hammis, oh my God, he and I, somehow, some way, he was a freshman, we just clicked. I mean, we just absolutely clicked. And I was just talking to him, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, and he brought up the fact that his dad, 90-year-old dad, was caught my videos, the documentary that I'm doing, and he caught my videos, and he was telling John how much he enjoyed them. So Mr. Hammis, if you're watching this, kudos to you, and I hope you enjoy this one as well. But John and I have become extremely good friends, and I just can't say enough about this guy. He's such a good guy. So then we had long days. We went from basically 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, having a lot of things to do. Every moment was so special, and probably one of the neatest moments was having dinner with the players. That was so much fun. Literally having dinner, interacting with the players and so forth. That was actually the first night. The second day, what was cool there is I dreaded singing the alma mater and the victory march. If you listen to me sing, you would know why. But I have to admit that was one of the most fun times of the camp. I really enjoyed that. And then you had game day. Game day was exhilarating. Oh my God, that in itself was a dream come true. To go out, to have your team meeting, to go out and do your walkthrough, to come in, change clothes, be bussed around the stadium, go up and have lunch, come back down, be bussed to the Basilica, go to a team mass, which is to me so powerful. And then we had a team picture that I showed, and then we had or did I? I can't even remember. We did the team picture out on the steps, and then we had that walk to the stadium, and oh my God, that walk was it was unbelievable. I can't imagine on Saturdays when there's thousands of people lining that walk up for those players to do that. For us, it was just a few people here and a few people there, but that was the extent of it. My wife caught up with me, and she kind of walked in with me. But when we got to that stadium, it was hair raising. The music was so loud. You were so pumped, and you just couldn't wait to get that uniform on. So then you go into the stadium, you get dressed, and then you have game day. Or the game rather, not game day, the game. So then you have the game, which is probably going to be the best fantasy football game ever. Why? Just because of everything that took place there. Look, I was on the blue team, and I thought we were going to kick their butt. But no but intended. So when the gold team scored their second touchdown, I forgot all about this. They actually went for 2 points. So they went up 15-14. So then in the fourth quarter, we score a touchdown and we're up 21-15. There's only 7 seconds left in the game. We got it wrapped up, right? Oh, hell no. 7 seconds left. They pulled a Cal Stanford thing where they just lateral. And they scored a touchdown. They scored a touchdown. So they still have to make the extra point, right? And they miss it. So the score stays tied at 21-all. And on top of that, we're going into overtime. We actually were up first. We missed our extra point or 2-point conversion, whatever you want to call it. And they made theirs. But you go back to this 7-second play that occurred. They actually have a clip where the first person that pitched that ball, the knee is on the ground and the officials missed it. So there were like 2 controversies, and it's just crazy how it all came out. But you know what? I'm glad it happened the way it did, because I can honestly say that probably part of the best fantasy football game ever, right? So kudos to the gold and blue team. We actually won, we know. So anyway, so that was the game. So then we had the awards banquet and so forth upstairs, and that was just really, really cool. And and I'm just trying to think of some other things that I want to say because I don't want to repeat things that I did in my other videos and so forth. But I will tell you this. I like to address if there's, I documented my videos obviously so that I would have my experience documented. But I also did it because I'd like to think that there's some Notre Dame fans out there that are doing their own research as to whether they want to go to camp or not. And I hope that I can just a little bit sway somebody to make that decision to say, yes, I'm going to do it. Because that old man right there, he did it, I can do it. So my recommendations is just to stretch, get into a little bit of shape. Practices really weren't that bad, but everybody kicks it up game day. And that game was amazing. Amazing. It is really interesting to be as old as I am with pads and all on, and you're playing this football game. I referred to Fantasy Island way back in the day. I guess that was back in the 70s or so forth, right? Man, this could have been part of that. This might be what I would tell Tattoo that I wanted to do. So, so yeah. But one of the things that you're going to find out, and I wanted to make sure I got my game time right. Everybody wants to play, but when that game's over, you find out that it's not really about that game. The game is fun. It's exhilarating. It's fun, but it's not really about that game. What you find out is that you've actually become part of something that's much, much bigger than you, much bigger than you. And it's about the relationships. I mean, look, these guys come back year in and year out. That's how they knew each other. Now, when I go back, I'll know people as well. But it all started clicking after that game. The relationships that you create. Some of these guys could care less, I think, whether they play in that game or not, truthfully. But they come back. They pay that money and all to come back just so that they can spend time with each other. It is crazy. I think I may have mentioned this, that the only place that I can refer that to is my brothers at the Citadel. Of course, maybe that was military. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it doesn't matter whether we see each other, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, but when we're together, it's like it was yesterday. And I see that in these guys right here. There weren't that many alums on this team. There were a handful of them. Some people also mentioned, they asked me about age. And I can tell you that from an age standpoint, we had, I think, two young guys in their young 30s, like 31, 33, maybe in there. I know there might have been one or two in their upper 30s. I don't think there was anybody in their 20s. And then you had mostly everybody was 40, 50s, and 60s. And I can tell you that at my pre-game lunch, there was someone there that was, I believe, 74 or 76 years old. So look, anybody can do this. If you want to reach out and Facebook me or message me or something, I'll be glad to get back with you. But I also wanted to tell you that my wife and I just got back from an Alaskan cruise, and I do not like reading, but I knew that I was going to have some time to do it. And I took this book with me, and this isn't a promo, but this is just, I forgot that I had it. And it's called, For Notre Dame Fans Only, The New Saturday Bible. And I did not know this, and and somebody please reach out to me to confirm this. But do you know what, if you're not a Notre Dame alum, and if you're a Notre Dame fan, what you are? I had no idea. You're a Subway alum. A Subway alum. I don't really know if I understand it, but That's what you are. You're an alum. This book was given to me by a dear friend, Dick and Patty Erlenbaugh. And Dick actually played basketball in the late 60s for Notre Dame. And in 2016, I met him, or Patty and I met him and his wife, Patty, at Notre Dame for the Navy game. And I didn't realize this, but he signed this. He put a note on here and he signed it to me. And the guy's name is Rich Wolf. That's the author. Like I said, it's not a promo for the book, but it's all these stories of fans. And the reason I bring it up, does anybody know Keith Cross? Anybody? Any of my teammates know Keith Cross? Because he was in the very first fantasy football camp, and his story is in this book. The other thing about this book that I learned is, do you know how the Athletic A's and the Green Bay Packers got their colors? Well, the answer's in this book, okay? The answer's in that book. Actually, I'll tell you. It's because the owners love Notre Dame so much that's how the gold and the green came for the Athletic A's and the Green Bay Packers. So I'm going to finish up with this. This has been a great camp. If God helps me stay healthy and so forth, my intention is to be there in 2023. Here's a funny story for you. So prior to me leaving to go to camp, and while we were driving to camp, and while we were at camp, my wife, Patty, said multiple times, Mike, I know this is on your bucket list, but it's expensive. So I hope that you get this out of your system and let's do it and let's just move on. She said that numerous times, okay? So get this. For someone that has gotten it, my wife has gotten it. Because on the way back from camp, coming home, this is what she says to me now. She says, the next time you do this, I need to find something for the wives to do. So I looked at her and I said, so does that mean it's a go? She never said no. So if I can find out a way to finance it and if I'm healthy, I am going to be at the 2023 Notre Dame Fantasy Football Camp. And I hope that this helps anybody trying to make a decision as to whether or not they want to attend, because it will be the best thing that you ever do. Stretch and try to get as much family there that first time as you can, because I can honestly tell you that my experience would not have been the same if my family would not have been there. So maybe I can grab a few other family members to be there in 2023. From what I understand, registration's open. It's the same week. It's that very first week in June. So all I can say is hope to see everybody next year, and we'll start this all over again. Right, buddy? Tell them. Say right. Go Irish. Thanks again, and we'll see you in 2023.